A couple of heavyweights square off tonight at Naperville Central High School. It's Naperville North against St. Charles. Tonight's coverage of the IHSA Girls Soccer Championship is proudly presented by Country Companies Insurance. When it matters most, the country's behind you. And by Pepsi. Nothing else is a Pepsi. And welcome in along with Ed Vicinic. I'm Brian Davis. Eddie, kind of back to the future for Naperville North. They won the first ever girls soccer tournament in 1988. But boy, what a present they've got tonight in the two-time defending state champion.
Well, you know what? Anytime you get to this level in the final, St. Charles is usually there, and Naperville North has a chance to do what a team hasn't done in a long time against St. Charles, and that's beat them and knock them off for the crown.
The Huskies have got a stiffer assignment tonight because their big gun is out of the lineup with an injury, which puts more, Ed, on Aileen Guiney.
No doubt about it. Aileen Guiney is the girl in the midfield, the man in the midfield that they need to go to create offense. But I think it would be unfair to say that this game depends on her. She's going to have to do a lot of work, not only offensively, but all the pressure that St. Charles will put upon the defense of Naperville North. Guiney's going to find herself in a defensive responsibility as well, so she's got to go both ways, and it's going to be a tough assignment for her.
Now the Fighting Saints lost Lori Seidel to the University of Minnesota. They've needed somebody to come in and step it up. They've actually got a number of double-digit scores, but how about Patrice Fulner, the sophomore?
You know what, Brian, I think it's almost unfair to pick out one player from St. Charles because it's almost like pick your poison when it comes to playing the Saints. But she's been hot. She's the leading scorer, 25 goals. She has scored 4 goals in this tournament, and she's the kind of player that is very composed in the box. She's a finesse player. She'll take it one-on-one. Won't score the barrel roll goals. She'll finesse it in. She's a nice player.
Fulner is one of 4 sophomores in Joe Moreau's starting lineup. Alan Harris for Naperville North has got 3 sophomores as well as a couple of freshmen. Look for a pretty physical battle tonight. Kickoff just ahead on Fox Sports Chicago. Ahead of kickoff at Naperville Central, Naperville North, the winner of the first ever IHSA Girls Championship tournament 11 years ago, actually 10 years ago, 11 seasons ago, against the 2-time defending champions from St. Charles, the Fighting Saints bidding for their 6th title overall. Good crowd on hand here tonight as we introduce you to the Country Company starting lineups. First of all, for the Huskies of Naperville North. Defense is anchored by Becca Patrick, a consensus all-state player here in the Chicago area. There's Aileen Guiney. She's the highlight player with the Huskies' leading goal scorer, Emily Clark, out with a knee injury. Eberhard, Ryan Grimley in the middle. Baker and Strazala up front. Then for the Fighting Saints of St. Charles, well, there's the goalkeeper for the Huskies, Missy Wickert. She has had herself one heck of a season. For the Fighting Saints of St. Charles, an all-star lineup. St. Charles is ranked 2nd in the country, and obviously everybody's #1 here in the state of Illinois as we are underway. These teams met back on the 4th of May, and it was a scoreless draw. And interesting that the Saints probably had the better of the scoring chances, but between the 18s, the Huskies really carried much of the play.
Alan Harris, that coach of the Huskies, said in his 17 years he has never seen a more exciting game in his life.
Now look out. Here's Patrice Fulner with a chance, but she is taken off the ball by sophomore defender Amy Walsh.
And just to expand upon that a little bit, Brian, is, you know, a 0-0 tie can be as exciting as a 5-4 game.
Fulner, Patrice Fulner up front with Sarah Lynch. You've got Steph Lynch, her sister, along with Lisa Himrod, Becky Myers, Ann Poulin, and Kristen Winterich in the middle. Joe Moreau goes with a 3-5-2, although every now and then he'll sneak Becky Myers up front and go to a 3-4-3 alignment.
Becky Myers is somebody that's going to hurt you offensively anyways. It's just a matter of how much defensive work is required of her in certain situations. But you'll see number 10 up and down the right flank a lot tonight for the Saints.
Long shot gobbled up by Missy Wickert. Naperville North lost their 3rd game of the season 2-1 to Naperville Central, and then reeled off 8 consecutive victories. Good through ball here for Shannon Grimley. She's got one defender to beat. Myers closing. Hilligoss, Lindley Hilligoss picks it up for St. Charles. Good chance for Naperville North. You know that's got to give them a little bit of confidence.
Well, the sophomore, Shannon Grimsley, on the left outside midfield, took it to goal. Her last touch inside the penalty area was a little too weighty. And I don't think there's any question that the Huskies know that they can compete with the Saints.
Down the sideline, giving Katie Conway all she can handle is the freshman Erica Baker, who started this season on the freshman team, moved up to the JV, and now is playing a big role up top for the Huskies.
Well, both of the strike force of the Huskies are freshmen. Got to bring a smile to the face of Valen Harris. You got two freshmen up there that can score. Wow.
Huskies keep inching down the field. Shannon Grimley, a sophomore. Again, we mentioned that Harris has got 3 sophomores along with 2 freshmen in the lineup. Clearing pass, and here comes Sarah Lynch. Lays the ball off nicely to Patrice Fulner. Again, 25 goals. Sarah Lynch has got 18 goals on the season. The cross looking for Ann Poulin. Out comes Wickert as Ann Poulin charged for the net inside the box.
Naperville North has a chance to win this game. They're going to need a big game out of that girl in orange. Missy Wickard had an all-state game in that 0-0 tie that we talked about back on May 4th. And need a hot goaltender, a hot goalkeeper to win this one for the Huskies.
Missy Wickard has got her share of heat. She has recorded 13 shutouts coming into this match tonight. Lindley Hilligoss about 20. Hilligoss, I'll tell you what, she just doesn't see very much work. The Fighting Saints have outscored the opposition this season 133-4. Kristen Winterich lays it off to the far side to Lisa Himrod. Goes left foot. Can't get much into it, and here's Aileen Gagne. Sends it upfield for Courtney Strazala. And then well ahead, too far for Erica Baker. Gagne intercepts. Aileen Gagne with 17 goals and 10 assists, so she's got the capacity to either put it in the net or set you up. She's got a goal and an assist so far the couple of games the Huskies have played here in the tournament.
The last 2 balls the Huskies have played as they move toward the attack goal, really not much of a purpose on either pass. Courtney Strazala just laid one up on the right wing, misread the run of Erica Baker, and then Gagne just knocked one into the St. Charles defense with no attacker in a blue shirt on the back end.
Now Katie Conway gains position on Baker, who keeps her in the corner, and now as Grimley puts it out, she is also called for a foul for taking down Becky Myers, and Naperville North loses possession. The Huskies with an 8-game winning streak after the scoreless draw against St. Charles, a 17-game unbeaten streak before a 3-0 loss on May 22nd to New Trier. Alan Harris, in his 17th season as the head coach at Naperville North, says, no, I don't think of them as rivals the same way that you would talk about maybe St. Charles and Wabansie Valley, or ourselves, Naperville North and Naperville Central. And Poulin taken off the ball by Grimley, but it's played into the St. Charles attack zone. Winterich, Kristen Winterich goes up, and she's hurt, and Gagne dishes off to Grimley. Grimley into the box, and she fires, and Hilligoss, that ball was ticketed for the upper 90, and Hilligoss with a nice touch. It'll be a corner kick for Naperville North.
Well, in the first 6 minutes of this game, Shannon Grimley has certainly laid a stamp on the game. She's made a couple of hard tackles and made a couple of good runs toward goal. Something that the Huskies said they wanted to do against the Saints was to be aggressive in every portion of the field, win every 50-50 ball, going hard. And Kristen Winterich is coming up feeling the effects of a tackle that Aileen Gagne made to create that opportunity for Shannon Grimley.
Winterich suffered a knee injury in the semifinal victory over New Trier this morning. And it looked like the same place, the left knee. She's got, I'll tell you what, she's an important part of this. 14 goals on the season along with 8 assists. She has scored here in the tournament.
Huskies making a substitution. They're taking Grimley out.
and have replaced her with Dana Mantella.
And into the air, that's Ann Poulin. She's got good range in the air. Poulin clears the pass, but Naperville North flags it down. Shannon Sweeney. Sweeney, I'll tell you, she had 13 corners in the 5-1 semifinal victory over Lincoln Way. Foul is called against Naperville North. St. Charles ball, but Shannon Sweeney, she will also move up into the attack. She scored. Well, she's got 10 assists on the season, probably most off the set plays.
Flag was up for offside. Aileen Guiney had gotten behind the play before the ball was played, but Shannon Sweeney, she just takes all of the restarts. She's got a very accurate and strong right foot, so she's going to get all of the corners, all of the restarts, and that's where she gets all of her assists.
Now Dana Mantella, the sophomore midfielder, working against Ann Poulin. Poulin goes into the air. Naperville North ball. Mantella played quite a few minutes in the semifinal this morning against Lincoln Way. She's very active. Here's Joe Morrow with his assistant Sue Soderberg. Joe Morrow, in his 4th season at St. Charles, 103 victories, 3 losses, 6 ties. Joe Morrow. It is not like Ethan Morrow, the Blackhawks forward. It is Joe Morrow.
Speaking of hockey, Joe made a big sacrifice last year to win the state championship. He's from Michigan, the Detroit area, a huge Red Wings fan, and had a chance to see his beloved Red Wings win the cup last year, but was coaching a state championship. First things first.
Naperville North advancing the ball, and again, Juliet Kokaitis, the Saints sweeper, comes up and knocks the ball away, gives her teammates a chance to reset. Molly Ryan loses the ball to Mantella. Now into the area, charging hard. Unable to get there is Kelly Leasley, junior forward, who has been on fire. She's got 2 of her 4 goals on the season here at Naperville Central in the tournament. The officials tonight, Joe Moroni is in the middle. Greg Cole and Steve Davidson are his assistants. A lot of contact early, Ed.
It's been Naperville North just taking the play to St. Charles right now. They've been aggressive to every ball. It's what the coaching staff wanted. And as of the first 9 minutes of the game, St. Charles really hasn't had a chance to even possess and string a couple of passes together. We'll see. You know, Naperville North played the 2nd semifinal, so they're working on a little bit less rest than St. Charles is. But like assistant coach Jake Conrad said, you run until we drag you off the field, and when we do, we'll sub for you, revive you, and get you back out there. There's nothing left to play for after today.
Mantella's throwing for Jody Everhard, taken away by Ann Poulin, but here's Aileen Guiney. She is working hard, particularly in the middle of the field.
You saw something that Guiney does so well, is she's able to keep possession with pressure upon her. She just kept moving away from the mark for as long as she could before she found some space and then got it upfield. Boy, there's a collision.
And a foul is called by Moroni. Guiney, she does so much off the ball.
This is Sweeney again. She'll just dump it into the crowd, top of the 18, and see what happens.
To the arc, and Poulin. Poulin, an outstanding sophomore, playing more of a defensive role tonight. Becky Myers turns it on, and she gets around Sweeney. St. Charles has got the numbers. The cross, and it's blocked by Becca Patrick. It'll be a corner kick for the Saints. Becky Myers spent some time in Europe with the Olympic Development Program, as did St. Charles's sweeper Juliet Kakaitis, also in that trip Aileen Guiney. So teammates then, but mortal enemies now. Ball is going to be put into play by Molly Ryan. And the cross into the air. Now Wickert and Myers collide, and the ball is going to be awarded to the Huskies. Hard collision. Missy Wickert a little bit slow to get up. Here's Alan Harris, her coach. Harris in his 17th season at Naperville North. He says it's almost time. He won the first tournament. So I said, what, one championship every 10 years? And he said, well, maybe, you know, and we'll see what happens tonight. And I'm planning on getting out at 20. He says, if we win tonight, on the other hand, maybe I'll think about it now.
He's got a very able backup in Jake Conrad.
Now Poulin fires, looking for Myers, a score! Becky Myers beat the defender at the top of the keeper's area. 1-0 St. Charles on a great feed from Ann Poulin.
Well, that combination hooked up for a goal in the semifinal win for St. Charles over New Trier, but that goal that Becky scored in the semifinal was off a dead ball. This time it was Poulin taking it down the right flank, and St. Charles does such a great job of getting the ball across from their flanks. That was just a charge to goal, just a little nick in by Becky Myers. It's one of the things that the Huskies had to be aware of. They were pressuring, they were controlling the game for the first 10 minutes. But St. Charles just laid back in the weeds, counterattack, and they get the goal. So all of a sudden, against the run of play, it's 1-0 Saints.
Had a step on Shannon Sweeney, and then also Missy Wicker came well out of the goal. That is Becky Myers' 19th goal of the season, and it is her 3rd here in the state tournament. Here's Guiney, though. Fires to the near post, and Hilligoss has it. St. Charles has allowed, as I said before, just 4 goals all season long and never more than 1 in a match, and so the hill is already fairly steep for the Huskies.
I think that's true, but if the Huskies are able to continue to play in the way that they have in the first 10 minutes, that's not a good sight to see a number 9 limping around. But, I mean, they've taken the play to St. Charles, and I think, you know, St. Charles definitely a champion. They had to be wondering whether in the storm there in the first 10 minutes, and bang, out of the blue, they get that goal.
Taking a look at Becky Myers, she scores the goal. She had also, now Guiney off in some pain. She's going to have a seat. Erica Baker back onto the field for Naperville North. Myers collided here a moment before she scored with Missy Wickert. She also received a yellow card for a collision with the New Trier goalie in the semifinal match. Not afraid to mix it up. Whoa. Megan Mull, one of the Huskies' captains, clears. Now here's Sweeney. Looking for Struzali, gets behind and also charging forward. That's Kelly Leasley. Here she comes to get it on the touchline. Alan Harris says there's no kid in the state with her combination of build and speed. Good through ball, now back. She took the pass from Struzala. Jesse Ryan, sophomore midfielder, puts it just above the 18. Struzala is bumped off the ball by Stephanie Lynch, and then Johnny Anderson comes to get it. Anderson, the junior defender. Ball is played well forward, and we'll take a break with St. Charles leading 1-0 as we approach the midpoint of the first half on Fox Sports Chicago.
Soccer sure has changed since I played. 30-foot rises. Contracting goals. This game is nothing like we could have ever imagined. And it all started with All Sport.
All Sport, with a third more carbs than Gatorade. The game will never be the same.
The things that you hold close, we do too. Sharing your dreams and seeing you through the bright tomorrows, human sorrows. It's nice to know when it matters most, the country's behind you.
And our top story in the town without milk, still no milk. Drysdale Mayor Bob Kelly faces bribery charges after being caught with several cartons of 2%.
Milk, please?
Fluffy Donuts
Milk?
filed for Chapter 11 and in a frightening incident.
Tourists.
Preschoolers rampaged today when a teacher served peanut butter sandwiches.
Milky, milky, milky smooth. Now available in your town. New Milky Smooth Skin Lotion. It's extra creamy.
Got milk.
It's late. Do you know where your kids are? Try looking in the Chicago Sun-Times, the official newspaper of the IHSA. Because as Chicago sports leader, only the Sun-Times has all the local high school action, including the inside story from leading prep writers like Taylor Bell, Steve Tucker, Roman Madrowski, and Daryl Van Stoen. For the best high school sports coverage, follow the Sun-Times and the new Chicago Sun-Times newspaper network. With high school sports coverage this comprehensive, you always know the score.
Back at Naperville Central High School, Becky Myers has scored for St. Charles to give the Saints a 1-0 lead, but Naperville Central continues to put on the pressure with Ed Vicinic. I'm Brian Davis. Probably, Ed, maybe the best matchup that you could possibly have hoped for here in the tournament?
Well, I think that, you know, we saw some fine teams in here, but I think if you poll the people who are watching and the people who have followed girls soccer this year, I think that's a pretty accurate statement.
Guiney is back on the field. Erica Baker will take a seat. Shannon Grimley with the throw in. And here comes Ann pulling great clear to get around Jody Everhart. Here's Stephanie Lynch ahead to Myers. Myers turns on the speed and gets around Sweeney, and now all of a sudden the Saints have a good rush. Now Sweeney, great recovery by Shannon Sweeney. And back come the Huskies. Johnny Anderson takes the ball away from Guiney. Guiney now working the ball on the far side against Anderson. Steps around and the foul is called.
Johnny Anderson usually gets to mark the best player on the opposing team, and Guiney with some strong moves there and forced Anderson just to take the foul. Actually, a smart foul there by Anderson. She was beaten. It wasn't in a terribly dangerous situation, but if Guiney gets by, she's got some space to go, so just take the foul, let the team reset.
Sends it all the way to the edge of the keeper's box, and Hilligoss is there. St. Charles, little bit slow. Ed Vicinic, Brian Davis at Naperville Central High School. St. Charles has been a little bit slow here a couple of times in the playoffs, getting off the ground. In the super sectional against Schaumburg, a 5-1 victory, Joe Moreau had been very happy. As we look at Alan Harris, Moreau had been very happy with the intensity that he got from the very opening kickoff from his kids. Saved that game in Schaumburg. The game against Naperville North previously, kind of a wake-up call to his guys. He said, we played much of the season, maybe the first 20 minutes, kind of back on our heels. We fixed that, the lone exception being the game against Schaumburg. Now Guiney into the air. She was looking for Jesse Ryan, but once again, Hilligoss makes no mistake about it. Flicked on by Sarah Lynch and intercepted. Cleared out by one of the Huskies captains, Megan Mull. Here's Strazala. Stephanie Lynch on her as Lisa Himrod peels off offside.
No, it was a call on Lynch.
Yeah.
She pushed Strazala off the ball. Strazala was just about to get a step on her, and she took the foul, so it'll be a free kick for Huskies.
Courtney Strazala scored on a rocket in the second minute against Lincoln Way this morning. 11 goals for her, and she's got that one here in the tournament. Sweeney will start it almost on the touchline. Three-player wall for St. Charles. Now to the top, and again Ann Poulin. She's very strong in the air, picked up by Lisa Himrod. Now charging on comes Patrice Fulner. Fulner with 4 goals, including a hat trick against Amundsen High School, the Chicago Public League champion, in the opening game. This is the first year that the Public League has gotten an automatic bid to the state tournament, as Saints made Amundsen pay with a 9-0 decision here the other day.
Welcome to the tournament.
Fulner has actually got a chance, as we take a look at Lisa Himrod. Fulner's got a chance to tie Lori Seidel's tournament record, 6 goals. She also scored a pair in the sectional final, a 3-0 victory over Geneva High School.
Once again, she's only a sophomore. Both of these coaches with some girls that can put the ball in the net that will be around for a few more years.
Broadcast rights to tonight's soccer championship have been granted to Fox Sports Chicago and Intersport by the Illinois High School Association. Any rebroadcast or reproduction of this event without the written consent of Fox Sports Chicago, Intersport, and the IHSA is prohibited. Next goal that St. Charles scores will set a new tournament record. Becky Myers getting onto the board, and with that, the Saints tying the tournament scoring record at 14 goals.
Well, 9 in one game will help you to that end.
Oh, no question about that. Joe Moreau. Win tonight gives him 9 tournament victories. That would be second to Andrew Bitta at Libertyville. This is his 4th consecutive appearance in just 4 seasons. And Poulin wheels and fires, and it would have been wide, but Missy Wickett picks it up for Naperville North.
Well, you remember a couple of minutes ago was Ann Poulin in her own penalty area, heading the ball out of danger. Now she's in the other penalty area, creating a chance and getting something on it in front of the attack goal.
Young woman likes to run, and now the cross. Here it comes. Sterzala fires, and Hilligoss gobbles it up. Ball was put down low by Jessie Ryan.
I think Courtney, when she looks back at this, is going to see she had a little more time than she may have thought. Ball bounced down there, created, actually, watch the cross by Ryan. A good shield off the ball here to allow it to run. Actually, Steph Lynch was closing it down quickly, so she got it off in the nick of time. It looked from here that she had a little more time to get that shot off, but she did well with it.
Nice touch by Guiney, looking for Ryan, but it gets past her, and Poulin takes it. Here's Becca Patrick with Becky Myers in her face, but she advances the play, and offside, well offside, is Shannon Grimley.
Well, Shannon wasn't behind the defense there. He could have picked 2 other players that were lurking behind the play, just didn't get up in time. Defender Becca Patrick there, you saw, who actually is a forward, converted into a defender for the Huskies.
As is the player who just got the restart going for St. Charles, and look at the nice step in there by Lauren Evans. Now here's Lynch. Naperville North has got numbers here. Sterzala with Grimley. Takes it off to the edge of the area. Now the cross, and Steph Lynch gets it toward Juliet Kaketas, who wastes it out of bounds.
Hats off to Steph Lynch. She made about a 30-40 yard recovery run, step for step there, and kind of forced the Huskies to rush that pass across, then got in front and knocked the ball out of bounds. Good work on the recovery by Steph Lynch.
Now Guiney. Right along the goal line. The ball is cleared, and nicely so. Great move by Katie Conway. Now up for Mantella. And she's tackled and taken off the ball by Himrod. Sarah Lynch looking downfield for Ryan. And look at Grimley come back and step in front, but at the 18, Ryan still alive, fires, and Wickert with the save. Molly Ryan with 3 goals and 7 assists, 1 of those here in the tournament. Another sophomore. Joe Moreau just reloads at this stage, and now a throw in for St. Charles. Patrice Fulner. Just get a look at her. And here's Lynch looking for Fulner. Patrick second touch. Now here's Ryan into the area. Sarah Lynch had a chance, and now Ann Poulin at the top of the D. Becky Myers makes a run. Mantella is there, out of bounds, throw in for the Saints.
And Poulin in there nicking around, just didn't get much of it, and then some chaos in front of the goal. This is the one thing right now, the way Naperville North is playing with actually controlling the run of play. They have to be so aware of the counterattack of St. Charles.
Steph Lynch to Myers, tried to head it on. Poulin was there. Now the ball is cleared, and Mantella advances it to Guiney. Johnny Anderson lines her up with Poulin coming to help. Long pass for Strazala. Nice trap it onto Mantella to the far side. She has some company in Sandy Dable. Ball goes out off of Dable. And now again off of Stephanie Lynch, who is one of the captains on this team. She's headed to the University of Iowa. She actually was benched early in the season, trying to be a little bit too fine with her play. Now Anderson heads it on to Myers. And Poulin can't quite catch up with that. She's got a lot of room, though, in the center of the field, and on to Molly Ryan, and just a little bit too far.
And Poulin in the center of the midfield for St. Charles is somebody that Joe Moreau is looking to get a little more consistency out of. She's only a sophomore, so some of this is coming with growing and maturity. But St. Charles obviously has been a very consistent team over the last 3, 4, 5 years. But Ann Poulin, who was a sweeper back last year, is now in the center of the midfield, and when she feels comfortable, she can take over a game. And that's something that Joe Moreau obviously wants to see on a more consistent basis.
Mantella and Dable collide at the middle of the field. Sweeney and Stephanie Lynch trade returns, and now for Fulner at the edge of the area. She slows it down. She beats one player. Now Sarah Lynch charging into the 18, and a throw in for St. Charles as Lauren Evans for Naperville North got beaten on the play, but a good recovery in a dangerous situation for Naperville North.
Amy Walsh made the play there, stepped up very well. And one thing that you notice about Naperville North's defense is all three of them, the two marking backs and the sweeper, are all very aggressive to the ball. Megan Mull, who's a cover back to sweeper, will attack a ball when it gets into the open. Here's a play again. Got to it quickly. Got it out of play.
Goal kick for the Huskies as we play now into the 27th minute of this match. St. Charles bidding for its third consecutive girls championship, and a push foul is called. That's on Becca Patrick. Shoved off on Becky Myers.
Another one of them fouls that's not all that bad to take right there. Becky Myers is going to get a step on you and go to goal. That's trouble. Just reach out, nick them a little bit, slow them up, stop the play.
And Poulin does so many things for Joe Moreau, and restarts are one of them. Now into the area off the header. Becky Myers right into the hands of Missy Wicker. Myers and Sarah Lynch side by side. Now Poulin with a nice trap. Beats the pressure of Sweeney. Look at her go. Now she puts it down the side, but Mantella can't quite catch up to it, so once again we're going to go the other way. Sorry, Dable down the left side. Mantella defending for the Huskies. Naperville North won the championship in 1988. They have been right there. Last year lost to Sandburg in double overtime in the super sectional game in 1997, and in 1998 the Huskies defeated 1997 finalist Lyons Township in the super sectional, and then here at Naperville Central have beaten Notre Dame 5-0, and then Lincoln Way 2-1 this morning in the semifinal.
Got off to a quick start against the Knights of Lincoln Way, scoring in the first 2 minutes. Actually had a 2-0 lead. Lincoln Way came back and scored their goal in the first 2 minutes of the second half, and then it was one of those things where the game really wasn't in the belts and on the side of Naperville North until the final horn went off. They were in a bit of a scramble to hang on to that one against Lincoln Way.
Steph Lynch marking Guiney. Still the ball is through to Mantella, and look at Becky Myers, who is called for the push.
Once again, we see that from Guiney, where she just turns her body, shields the ball for a little while, moves away, finds a slight opening of space, and with some help from the overlapping run, got it upfield.
Myers is, as is Guiney on Naperville North side. She is a consensus all-state player. Sweeney with a cannon to the 18. Dave beats Mantella to it. They are up and down the field, the two of them. They've got quite an individual battle going. And here another act in that. This time Becky Myers comes to help. Advances the ball to Sarah Lynch. Jenna Stormo is now in the field as well for St. Charles. Lynch took a little shot as Guiney gains the 18, looking inside. Ryan. Shot is kicked beyond the goal line, and that's going to be a corner kick as Jesse Ryan got the foot on it, forced the St. Charles defense into a tough spot.
So far, kudos for Aileen Guiney, because she has put her stamp on this game for Naperville North, has created a lot of situations for them, and it's a big, big role to fill and a big responsibility for this team, only a junior.
Shannon Sweeney again with 13 corner kicks. Naperville North has set a tournament record. Out of the corner. And now Hillen. Right near post off the rocket. And here come the Saints. Stormo beats Keenan down the side.
Number 9 there, Jenna Stormo, is just somebody that's going to get some short spells.
10 minutes remaining first half at Naperville Central. More coming up. Off the restart, foul is called against Naperville North, and so prime position for Ann Poulin to get something going for St. Charles.
Alan Harris said one of the things we have to do in this game is not give up restarts to St. Charles. He says Ann Poulin salivates when she hears the word restart.
And Wickard has a little trouble handling it, but is able to flag it down. Good strong kick by Poulin. She was just going for net.
Got a little deflection there off the wall. There's Ann, lines it up. Just nicked off, man. You got to keep your head in front of that one. Sorry, Amy. I think that was Amy Walsh. The reason you're there is to block it from going into that short side, and Naperville North wall just kind of getting out of the way of that. One end, you can't blame them, but your job is to stand there and take the pain.
Once again, Dable and Mantella, and the ball is cleared away by Katie Conway. Back to midfield, but Naperville North, you add it up, I would suspect the possession percentage. There's Conway. Possession percentage right now belongs to Naperville North, but the score belongs to St. Charles. Molly Ryan in for Fulner. Puts it on the head. And look at Lauren Evans working hard. Lauren Evans doing a great job on Jenna Stormo. Now Anderson into the area. Stormo sends it the wrong direction and out of bounds.
Lauren Evans missed most of the year for the Huskies with a back injury. And it's been another one of those situations where the Huskies have had to juggle their lineup just a little bit. You can see number 9, Jenna Stormo for St. Charles. She knows her role. She's going to get about 10 to 15 minutes a half where she's relied upon to just go in there and stir things up, use her speed, use her quickness, get in the face of the defenders. And actually, that is what the offense is predicated upon for St. Charles. They like to use their forwards to pressure the defenders of the other team, create some turnovers, and put them away.
Nice ball from Stormo, and Myers goes down, and Becca Patrick is called for the infraction. So once again, a restart close in, and we go back to what you were talking about and the concern that Alan Harris had.
Well, as maybe Naperville might be tiring out just a little bit, St. Charles is starting to get a little bit stronger, and play is starting to gravitate toward the Husky end of the field.
Poulin punches it in, and oh, there's Fulner, just misses. Looked like she tried to go to the left foot there, and she was at full stride, not able to get full contact on the ball.
That was a tremendous ball sent across by Ann Poulin. It's just far enough off the line to keep Missy on their goal line, and then on the backside, Fulner came and just missed it.
She was going for the volley, no question about it. Now Dable, Sarah Lynch, Poulin. Steph Lynch tries to play it back, but not far enough, and look who's got it, Aileen Guiney. Gives herself a little space off of Johnny Anderson. Juliet Kakadis picks up the ball. And it's going to be a goal kick for St. Charles. Juliet Kakadis, junior standout here as we take a look at Dana Mantella. Kakadis switched from midfield to sweeper. 3 simple words from Joe Moreau about that. She hates it.
That was the same case for Ann Poulin last year, playing sweeper as a freshman for the Saints. These girls have such great offensive skills that they want to get up there and get in the mix. And when you're as good a team as the Saints are, a lot of times there's not a lot of work to be done back in the defensive end.
Sweeney pushes it to the 18. Guiney, no, that's Grimley, sorry. And then Kelly Leasley back to the 18 with Courtney Sterzala in the neighborhood. Sweeney marked by Sarah Lynch. Nice work defensively. And coming to help is Molly Ryan. Great tackle. Well, that foul is called from behind. Shannon Sweeney was she going for the ball, but tackle from behind is a tackle from behind.
Actually, this thing created before that tackle happened. Sweeney didn't get much help from Shannon Grimley that time because she was holding the ball, waiting for Grimley to get back onside, and Shannon just didn't get back onside in time. That allowed 2 Saints defenders to get in Sweeney's face, and she lost possession of the ball. Just had some frustration there coming in from behind.
Amy Walsh started the play for Naperville North back at the 18-yard line, and now Sarah Lynch scrambling and again beaten to the ball by Walsh. Here's Guiney with Johnny Anderson right in her face. Guiney has to hold up. She wanted to fire that thing right away. Sterzala looking for Leasley. Conway says no. Molly Ryan out of bounds. St. Charles having a little trouble in the air, and Poulin with a great save up the sideline, and here she goes again, and down she goes. Kelly Leasley is going to go into the book for this one.
Let's watch it again here. Some quick work along the sidelines for Poulin, and she gets up quickly, gets back into the play. I think Ann gave her a little kick and then a knock from behind.
Jack Kakadis gets ready to restart the play for St. Charles.
I don't even know if Leasley actually knew that Ann was coming. Maybe she did. With the yellow card. It appeared to me that Poulin gave her a little kick while she was down on the ground.
Poulin right in the middle here of the action at midfield. Anderson pushes Guiney, no call. We told you right at the top that there was going to be a certain amount of physical play in this game here in the last couple of minutes. We have certainly seen that as we play in the 37th minute. St. Charles hanging on to that 1-0 lead. Early goal by Becky Myers, so far the difference. Mantella had a nice idea, couldn't quite get it, deliver it in the right spot to Erica Baker. Coming up at halftime, conversation with the assistant executive director of the IHSA. Marty Hickman is in the house once again as the tournament administrator. Among other things, we'll get his thoughts on a real boom in girls soccer here in the state of Illinois. Guiney once again wanting to waste no time. Anderson has position on Mantella in the corner. Once again out of bounds.
Guiney's perpetual motion out there. She just does not stop. Can't tell that she's playing her third game in less than 2 days.
Give and go with Courtney Sturzalis. Stephanie Lynch is there. There's Guiney. Missed the opener of the playoffs with a concussion suffered in the regular season finale at New Trier. In the semifinal, she delivered a great long ball to Kelly Leasley for what turned out to be the game winner in that 2-1 victory over Lincoln Way. And a good size at 5'8", and again 17 goals and 10 assists on the season. Lisa Himrod back on the field for St. Charles. Mantella the scissors out of bound, and Himrod will throw it into Poulin. Becky Myers. Now Poulin goes down in a heap, and the foul is called as Becky Myers and Becca Patrick did a little battle about 20 yards out.
To space goes Ann Poulin. She's got a very sure first touch.
Poulin into the area with Myers. Becca Patrick is there. Himrod the rebound, saved by Wickard.
Himrod pounced on that loose ball, but Wickard was right there, stood her ground, and a lot of the confusion that was created on that play was because Becky Myers was lurking around, circling in the penalty area, and Himrod got a quick strike toward goal.
Now Sturzalis, her lead to Guiney. Anderson again marking her. Foot race is on Himrod and Mantella. Mantella's going to get there. Nice stop. Trying to figure out what to do with it. Dancing one-on-one on Himrod, and she puts the ball out of bounds.
How many times have we seen in this game Guiney holding the ball along the right sideline? She gets an overlapping run, plays it there, and Mantella really just ran out of ideas down in the corner, and Himrod just stood her up, stood her ground, didn't dive in, and I think Dana might have been a little out of gas.
And that's all for the first half. Coming up at halftime, again, conversation with Marty Hickman of the IHSA. Highlights in the ever-popular statistical analysis. St. Charles with a 1-0 lead in the final at Naperville Central. We're at halftime at Naperville Central, the title game between Naperville North and St. Charles, capping what has been a terrific year for girls soccer in the state of Illinois. And let's spend a few minutes talking, I guess you might say, about the state of the sport with Marty Hickman, who is the Assistant Executive Director for the Illinois High School Association. The count now is up to what, Marty? The number of high schools that have girls programs?
We're around 280 schools now, Brian, and so things continue to grow in girls soccer, and we're looking forward to even more growth.
How many programs did you add this year? Do you know off the top of your head?
Well, not off the top of my head, but we've been averaging between 15 and 20, sometimes more per year. And we've really seen a lot of growth in the Chicago Public League, too. They've added a lot of schools in the last few years. So in the neighborhood, 15, 20 schools a year we've added for the last several years.
Well, and a big boost for the Public League this year with the Public League getting an automatic bid here to the state tournament, the first representative of Amundsen High School. So a big step for the city.
Yes, it was, and we're real proud of the way they've worked with their girls soccer program there, and they'll become more and more competitive as time goes on.
Now, at 280, you're very close, aren't you, to the cutoff point at which you would go to a class split, A and 2A?
Our magic number is 300. When we get to 300, I fully suspect our advisory committee will recommend that we go to 2 classes, and I think our board of directors will approve that as well.
Marty, how much of this do you think is just a natural progression, that soccer is growing and girls soccer particularly? How much is fueled, say, by other influences? For instance, the success of the U.S. women's team at the national level.
Right. Well, I think that adds a lot to it. I think these girls see role models out there that they can look up to. We see youth programs all over in the major cities and even smaller communities where these girls are playing from the time that they're 5 years old. So I think the influence of World Cup, U.S. soccer has been very positive for girls.
There is one other thing that I think is worth touching on here tonight, and that is something that's afoot. I don't know if it's firm yet, but the IHSA is thinking about going to a change in the rules governing contact between coaches and their athletes in the offseason.
Right. Our membership will have an opportunity next year to vote on a package of proposals that a committee we've had studying that issue has put together. And what a big part of that is getting coaches more involved with kids in the summer.
Well, the idea, too, to put the point on it, is to cut maybe the contact that some athletes have with street agents.
Yes, that's right. I think some of the things our committee was thinking about is that our coaches are some of the best people we have to work with these kids, so why not give them that opportunity in the summer?
Marty, always a pleasure. A great tournament. Congratulations.
Appreciate it. Thanks very much.
Marty Hickman, the Assistant Executive Director of the IHSA. I'm Brian Davis. Ed Vicinic and I will be back with stats and highlights of the first half and then the second half as we continue on Fox Sports Chicago. Another beautiful evening for the girls' title game here at Naperville Central High School. You've heard of the 4 horsemen. How about the 2 cameramen? Our crew in the truck and outside doing a great job here as we have seen St. Charles and Naperville North battle the Fighting Saints on a goal in the 11th minute by Becky Myers. Out to a 1-0 lead, and Ed Vicinic, here it is.
Came against the run of play. Naperville controlling, but a good cross by Poulin, and Becky Myers just had about a half step on the defense. All she needed to do was get a foot on it and redirect, because Missy just couldn't get to that ball. It was far enough out. A poor clearance, although getting a foot on it there. It came out to Hemrod, and she got a left foot, and standing her ground was the Husky keeper once again.
Missy Wickert has been busy, although the shots on goal are fairly... Lagos has had a test or two.
Well, the one thing that Alan Harris said he felt that his team needed to do to beat St. Charles was take advantage of opportunities, and in my mind I can recall at least 3 good ones that they had. Grimley hit a shot that was just outside the bar, then was Shazala, who had a chance in the penalty area, and one other one that just wasn't finished. I think Jessie Ryan had one that she knocked over the crossbar. So although it's even, the Huskies really haven't put away the opportunities that they got from the play that they developed in the first half.
Let's go back to an interesting part of the storyline. If Naperville North is to have, you'll excuse us, a prayer of coming back in the second half, they're going to have to do it without their leading scorer, Emily Clark. 21 goals on the season. We'll see what happens, and we'll talk about second half strategy when we return on Fox Sports Chicago. Becky Myers in the 11th minute. We are about to start the second half. We will go to the 41st. St. Charles bidding for its 83rd game without a loss, and also for its 3rd consecutive IHSA Girls Soccer Championship. Brian Davis along with Ed Vicinic. As we get set to start, let's pick up on the point of second half strategy, Eddie. Emily Clark is out. Jim Burnside, New Trier's coach, said after the semifinal loss today to St. Charles, you got to have a whole lot. It's almost impossible to drop off when you go to the bench because it's like St. Charles has 15 starters. So, how do you counteract that if you're Alan Harris in Naperville North?
Actually, I thought the Huskies played a great first half, and it just comes down to being able to finish your chances, and they haven't done that. They fell asleep momentarily on the Becky Myers goal. She just snuck in behind the defense. Poulin got around the right flank, and they got it out in front there. But toward the end of the first half, the Huskies were giving up a lot of restarts down in their own end, something that the Huskies didn't want to happen. But from my standpoint right now, I just think Naperville North just needs to continue to be aggressive and hope that they get a break and finish a chance.
Well, one of the most aggressive has been on the wing. Dana Mantella, the sophomore midfielder, she has been working a fair amount with Aileen Guiney, and now Mantella working with Erica Baker down the sideline. Another throw, and it's a quick one. And Baker's got a step, but look at the recovery there. Now some contact in the box, and down goes Katie Conway. Foul is called on Baker, so a chance missed, I guess you could say, there off the contact.
Some strong work by both. Conway, the sophomore, wearing number 4, and Baker, the freshman, number 25. They were both pushing and shoving there, but St. Francis, or the St. Charles Saint, had the better position. St. Francis Saints playing out college ball.
Now the cross and a scramble inside. Down goes Grimley. The ball comes out. Sweeney keeps it alive, and the offside flag goes up on Aileen Guiney.
Yeah, she was down on the floor back there and was trying to get up and back in the play, but not quickly enough.
Well, between the two of us, we're trying to sprinkle all kinds of holy water on this thing.
I'm staying away from that.
Steph Lynch chips it to Himrod, and Grimley is there. Now Myers tries to put it through to Himrod, and once again Shannon Grimley very active defensively. Sweeney let the ball go.
Now she thought Grimley was going to get onto that, but Shannon, I think, is having a little problem with her left leg. And Sweeney actually had a better route to the ball.
Now Jesse Ryan, sophomore midfielder, advances it to midfield. Little jersey tug, and a foul is called. Naperville North with the restart.
Erica Baker has played about 10 or 11 games up on the varsity level at this point.
Well, Alan Harris said, he points out that he brought her up to play defense, and she's got great skills, and he says, we're not taking a little poke at himself. We're not real quick. It takes us a while to catch on to things sometimes.
Well, the unfortunate part of Erica Baker being there is she wouldn't even be on the team if not for injury, because they were contemplating moving her up to the varsity level early on. She was playing so well, but Harris was very cognizant of the fact that, a senior was going to lose a position and didn't want to have to deal with all the things that would happen because of that from a team chemistry standpoint. So when the injury happened, it gave him an opportunity to get her in there.
Ball is hammered by Sweeney down to the 6 and then cleared nicely. Sarah Lynch sizes it up. Becca Patrick with her, and a little help there as well from Amy Walsh. St. Charles has a chance. Now Myers, look at her put the ball inside, down she goes, and the whistle blows.
Goal kick.
For a goal kick. Myers was looking for a foul call there. She wasn't going to get it as she ran into Megan Mull, the senior defender from Naperville North. Once again, Ann Pullen wasn't quite sure where that ball was. And she loops it around, and Mantella intercepts as the pass intended for Molly Ryan. Here's Baker with Conway on her. Puts the ball through to Mantella. But Conway recovers on the touchline and sends it in the other direction. To the 18 at Kakadis. Knocks it out of bounds. Juliet Kakadis, one of the things that figured in her move from midfield to sweeper is that she has a chipped bone in one of her ankles, and so she doesn't quite get the same kind of punishment toward the back as she does in the midfield. Midfielder Michelle Sweeney in as a substitution for the Huskies. Sturzala for Sweeney. Katie Conway is there first, and it's off of Sweeney. That's going to be a goal kick.
That was a rare giveaway by Becky Myers. Just looking at a simple pass back to Ann Poulin. That was no more than 5-6 yards, but just didn't hit it to the foot of her teammate, and it gave a little something there to Naperville North. Good cover up on the defensive end by Katie Conway.
Now Patrice Fulner doing a tango at midfield with Jessie Ryan, and she's called for the foul. Fulner again, 25 goals and 4 assists, 4 goals as the Saints have played through the Elite Eight.
Well, this half is starting out somewhat at the same way that the first half did, with Naperville North controlling the play and getting into the St. Charles end. And the Saints really haven't had a lot of possession to be able to string passes over.
Now Baker volleys at the 18 wide. Lindley Hillegas in the game against Amundsen High School. St. Charles outshot in terms of shots on goal. Outshot Amundsen 31-0. No shots on goal is a new tournament record. A couple of times it had happened that a team had managed but 1 shot on goal. Hillegas got absolutely no work. You wonder how she's able to stay sharp in situations like that. And Joe Morrow says very simply that the fans don't often get to see her make spectacular saves, but we see it all the time in practice. Himrod taken down by Grimley, and the foul is called. Himrod was up and made a nice recovery. Had the whistle not blown, she had some real estate. Lisa Himrod only 5'5". Contrast that to the 5'9" Ann Poulin, whose sister was an outstanding player here at St. Charles as well. Had a piece of a championship trophy or two. Conway steams in, puts it ahead to Fulner, who is now taken off the ball by Ryan. Strazala flags it down. Has to contend with Steph Lynch. Looking upfield for Baker, and a little bit too far.
I'm really impressed with the composure and the maturity of those 2 freshman forwards that the Huskies have, Baker and Strazala. But I think Ellen Harris said, you know what, I don't think they understand where they're at, to tell you the truth. They're just out there running around having fun.
Going to be a restart for St. Charles. So once again, Ann Poulin will get in the act. Becca Patrick, whom Harris says overcomes a lot of her mistakes with her speed and also her aggressive nature on the pitch. Poulin pops it into the area. She's looking for Myers. Sweeney is there, headed back in. Fulner in the neighborhood, but a little bit too far as Amy Walsh gathers it up. Out of bounds to Naperville North.
On that restart last time, you know, Becky Myers always seems to be around the ball on those restarts. Sometimes she doesn't always get to it, but she's making a run in behind the defense or making a darting run to the ball, and a lot of time the ball finds her.
We have not seen one of the Saints' standout seniors since early in the first half, when Kristen Winterich appeared to re-injure a knee that was damaged in the semifinal against New Trier. Winterich told a local reporter that, hey, he said, you're going to be able to play, and she said, I am not going to miss my last game of my senior season. Ball is cleared nicely there by Michelle Sweeney, but back come the Saints, determined in the midfield. Conway's going to gather it in and play it to the far side. And now look at Sweeney come in and force the play in the other direction. And Guiney just a little bit too late as Steph Lynch advances it. Too far for Himrod. Sweeney wanted the call off the contact with Himrod, but nothing doing. But Guiney gives it back, so St. Charles in the end has it anyway. Don't forget that coming up after we're done about 5 o'clock, the 1988 IHSA Boys Volleyball Championship, and then immediately following that live at 7 o'clock, the Boys 2A Baseball title game. So preps, and more preps here on Fox Sports Chicago as Sarah Lynch is fouled and St. Charles once again gets the restart. earlier today, a couple of hours ago here, New Trier defeated Lincoln Way 3-1 in the third place game. Pulling again, looking for Myers. Myers pushed off and is called for it right at the 6, knocked down Amy Walsh, and so an opportunity goes up in smoke as Becky Myers again very aggressive right about the 6-yard line.
She just steamrolled Amy Walsh there, and there you see her right in front of goal. Did get ahead on it, but she and Poole looked for her on those restarts. They come out from deep on the flanks. Becky Myers just has a knack of getting to the ball one way or another. She doesn't care who's in her way.
Again, she got a yellow card in the semifinal. Now Lynch around Patrick. The foul is called this time on Becca Patrick for as much contact as we have seen in spurts here, as we now play into the 12th minute of the second half, or the 52nd minute overall. There has been but one yellow card issued, and once again for Myers, and Wickert is right there, and they collide again, and Missy Wickert hangs on.
Give her a badge of courage on that one. She went into a big crowd. She had Becky Myers charging into her along with a defender, still able to hold her ground and come down with the save. Good work by Missy Wickert.
They're about even in terms of size. They're both 5'8". Case like that with a player that aggressive, if you're Wickert, you really don't have any choice, do you?
No, I mean, you got to go out and protect yourself. And 9 times out of 10, when there's contact and the keeper has a play on the ball, he's going to get that call.
There's Molly Ryan with the cross, and Wickert is right there. Guess that'll go in the books as a shot, but she was looking for Patrice Fulner.
The last 5 minutes or so of this half, St. Charles has really started to gain some possession and gain some territory on the field. And they're slowly working their way into controlling the play.
Oh, nice give and go. Myers to Poulin and then back to Myers and just a little bit too far. And Amy Walsh, solid marking back, who did a real nice job, by the way, on Lincoln Way's Kim Jedlow in the semifinal. Walsh is there. Sarah Lynch will throw it in deep. Actually, she'll get the restart. And Lynch for Fulner, and Wickert is there, and the rebound, and it's cleared.
Well, Wickert didn't hang on to that one, but she was in the right spot. Almost caused herself some problems because she couldn't get to it, but went after it aggressively.
Now Poulin shields herself from Lauren Katz, junior midfielder who I do not believe made an appearance in the first half. Steph Lynch goes left foot, and there it's blocked by Sweeney. Now Conway and Strzala collide, and the foul is called on Courtney Strzala.
Katie Conway is one of the few sophomores in the starting lineup that hasn't had a lot of experience. There's the restart, got in front. Now Wickert is going to get to it in a crowd, but she was actually run off the play by her own teammate, Jessie Ryan. This is about the 3rd or 4th restart that St. Charles has had in the last 5 minutes or so.
Now Fulner to the air. She collided with Jessie Ryan. The ball is cleared. That's a scary sight. Boy, Becky Myers, Patrice Fulner, and Sarah Lynch all down in there. And Fulner. Well, we'll continue that thought after we break. 1-0 St. Charles as we close in on the midpoint of the second half at Naperville Central. In Fulner, you got 25 goals. In Lynch and Myers, well, Becky Myers has got 19 now, and Lynch has got 18 goals. That's a lot of firepower closing in at the 6 on those restarts.
Well, you don't go undefeated throughout the season without
A few people that can score.
A few.
A few.
Poulin chips it down. And Becca Patrick there. Then Patrick an All-Stater. Guiney an All-Stater. And look out, Guiney has got a chance at the 18. Down she goes. And no call. Aileen Guiney is livid. She said that was a foul, but the referee says no, it was not. Play on.
Let's watch this. Some good interplay with the Huskies here. Conway slips. It forces Johnny Anderson to kind of get caught in between a nice slotted ball, and then Guiney might have a case there, although the ball was already gone. That's a good tackle. I think Adkoukaitis got the ball first, and then a continuation after the play took Guiney down. I believe that was Julie back there.
Now Molly Ryan turns and fires. Molly Ryan, a year ago, Ed, you and I talked about her sister Megan, who was a regular for the Saints, who was stricken with Hodgkin's disease and whom Joe Moreau now reports is in remission and in classes at DePaul University and doing very, very well. So nice to be able to put that great spin on that story. Now Conway leaves it for Adkoukaitis. Interesting again that Adkoukaitis and Guiney were teammates on that ODP trip to Europe back in April. Adkoukaitis. Guiney blocks it and now gives Anderson all she can handle. She puts it inside the area but doesn't have any help.
You can see what the aggressiveness of the Huskies and Guiney in particular is creating. I mean, she just went full bore at that play, hoping to cause a turnover. She got a good bounce. Unfortunately, in catching up to the rebound of that ball, she didn't have a teammate running into the slot in the 18.
Push is called.
This could be a dangerous situation here for St. Charles to handle. Sweeney gets the ball in dangerous areas from out on the flank. She's a great striker of the ball. The Huskies getting a few blue shirts.
Guiney into the air, but she's beaten to it. That's Adkoukaitis. Ball is cleared. But Walsh with a good run now to the 18, looking for Strzeżala. She's got company, goes to the left foot, tries to chip it inside. Walsh can't get there before Julie Adkoukaitis does. Naperville North, though, well aware that 21 minutes potentially remain in its season, and the Huskies have put on some heat.
And that play started with stars written all over it, and then it kind of slowed at the top of the 18.
Oh, look out now. Here's Fulner on the breakaway. Fulner and blocked by Wickert, and now the ball is cleared away. Jesse Ryan is there as Patrice Fulner broke in, and Wickert came out with a gutsy save and keeps this a one-goal game.
I'll tell you something. Missy Wickert did a great job, but after Jesse Ryan fell down, look at her busting her tail to get back in this play. She's putting some pressure on Fulner there. It allowed her to know that there's some pressure coming from behind. Wickert chose the right time after the touch, got out there and made the stop. Hats off to Jesse Ryan, because she slipped about 25 yards out, and that created that opportunity for Fulner. She could have stayed on the ground and felt sorry for herself. Got up, recovered, got back in the play. Here's another restart.
Hey, you don't get into this game, do you, by staying down? And now to the left foot. Sarah Lynch is blocked by who else? Aileen Guiney. And Grimley out dueling Himrod. Conway is there. And once again, Grimley strips Himrod. Poulin deflects the cross. Now Conway scrambling to get it out of the area. And back to the 6-yard line as Shannon Grimley just looped it in there, and Hilligoss has to come get it.
I really like the play of Shannon Grimley. She actually was the player of the game in the first 10 minutes if you gave those away. Since then, she has kind of faded in and out, but she is a gutsy player that runs 18 to 18 and even deeper sometime, and she gets in hard and makes strong tackles.
Don't look now, but here comes Naperville North and Becca Patrick and Himrod, and Lisa Himrod has had everything that she could handle. Jody Eberhard started that play out of the midfield for Patrick.
Becca Patrick has moved from her defender spot further upfield in the offensive third for Naperville North.
Patrick has played up top from time to time. She's got 10 goals on the season. They need one now. Guiney, nice touch on the ball, but Anderson is there.
Good call by Joe Maloney there.
Keep going.
And Poulin wisely just going to take some air out of this, take some time, put the ball on the tee.
Grimley is there again.
Oh, okay.
Patrick for Strazala. Steph Lynch peels off and goes straight down the barrel in the box. Strazala falls down. Easy pickings for Akukaitis. And here's Patrick. Plays it back out to Grimley into the air. Closest player to it is Akukaitis. Guiney lays back. Here's Eberhard. Guiney turns on the Jets. And Johnny Anderson gets the better of her in that moment. Myers traps it. And now, extremely physical, Amy Walsh and Lisa Himrod.
That's a good call. Watch Himrod just push her off. That's a good call. The Saints crowd doesn't like it.
To this moment, 16 fouls for Naperville North and 15 called against St. Charles.
There was a card given to Himrod on it. No card, I'm sorry.
Now here's Walsh. Maroney at first, Ed, he did look like he was going to go to the pocket and then thought better of it. Here's Myers on the counter. Crossing short, but she gets it back. Kind of gives Walsh a little arm's length. Fulner calling for the ball about 23 yards out, a little too far. And Ryan is there.
Number 13, Amy Walsh is looking for a substitute on the Husky bench. She's limping around back in the defensive end.
Becca Patrick.
Well, what Alan Harris is doing here as the game wears on is Elise isn't coming as back far into the defense of the Huskies as she had been early on. They're going to use her as a target now.
Conway had no target. You see her? Where am I going with this? Somebody come get it. Now some contact, and the foul is called. That was Conway that drew the whistle. So again, a restart.
Stepped in there and just fouled the Husky. Now this is going to give Naperville North a chance to get a goal off of a dead ball.
But it's clear.
That ball was played short that time. Very uncharacteristic of Shannon Sweeney.
And here comes Dable. Taken off the ball by Guiney. Is going to make the player self, and the offside call. No, foul is called.
There's an obstruction call against St. Charles. An off the ball run made to the ball, and it was caught here on the near side by assistant referee Steve Davidson.
Becca Patrick was real close to being in an offside position. But once again, Sweeney gets the chance. And once again, Ann Poulin is there. Guiney pops it well high and wide.
A lot of the balls that have been crossed off dead balls into the St. Charles penalty area, I'd say at least half of them have been headed away by Ann Poulin. She's one of the taller players on the field. She also played sweeper last year, so she has an idea of how to get up and get at those balls.
Becky Myers' 19th goal of the season in the 11th minute has given St. Charles a 1-0 lead that it clings to now in the latter stages. Welcome in along with Ed Vicinic. I'm Brian Davis. St. Charles after its third consecutive IHSA Girls Soccer Championship. Now at this point, and at Naperville Central, this has been a beautiful night and a beautiful pitch. The field is in great shape. It has drawn raves from the coaches who have been involved here in the Elite Eight. Guiney. Give and go with Grimlin. And Hillegas loses the handle on it, and that's going to be a corner kick as she steps out of bounds.
It caught Hillegas by surprise. Ann Poulin mishit it as it was coming back toward her own end. Watch this. Poulin gets a foot on it, has some spin on it, and it spun right out of the hands of Hillegas.
Shannon Sweeney plays it to the back. Guiney tries to go to the air. Akikatis this time. Ball is still alive, just at about at the 18, and it's cleared. And Jessie Ryan gets for the Huskies. Sarah Lynch takes her off of it. Myers sends it back the other way, and now St. Charles, well, they had numbers for just a moment, and Fulner with great speed. Here she comes again. It's a 2-on-0 break. Fulner scores! Patrice Fulner had a chance to dish off to Sandy Dable, but with the keeper wickered out, she was able to corral the ball and put it in herself. Patrice Fulner's 26th goal of the year has given St. Charles a 2-0 lead.
This was a great finish, but this entire play was made in the midfield. Watch the curling run that Fulner made around behind the ball. It was a perfect ball play by, I think, Becky Myers. Played that. She timed it perfectly, that it's one-on-one with the goalie. A very confident touch around the sliding keeper and just finished. But that entire play was made by the combination there between Molly Ryan and Patrice Fulner. She curled a run behind, and another touch on the ball from Molly Ryan, and that play doesn't work.
One of the things that Julie Akikatis said about her experience with the Olympic Development Program is that you're in that situation, it's a bunch of under 17 hotshots, and they're all individual stars. Each of these players is a star on her own team. She said the thing about that is that it's a lot of individually oriented play. She didn't use the word, I guess I can, selfish. But here, there is no I in team. And these guys are all extremely comfortable with each other. They work together so much, not only on the high school team, but at the club level. Guiney, the restart, it's tipped wide.
I'm kind of surprised. Lindley, I don't think knew that it deflected off of the Saints wall, and it's going to be a corner kick because I think Hillegas had a play on it. She must not have seen the deflection because she could have easily grabbed it and just punted it away, but turns out to be another corner kick for the Huskies.
Here's Sweeney, line drive this time. Anderson steps in front of Guiney. It's another corner kick.
That's a great ball, driven low. All they need is a deflection there. Two players went at it. Guiney was one of them, but Anderson got in there as well.
And now the scramble, and Hillegas falls on it 6 yards out.
That was just determination to get to that ball.
Here's Poulin, gets a step on Eberhardt, and Fulner again. turning the corner on Jesse Ryan. Ryan disrupts the rush, and Fulner comes to get it back, but she's called for the... No! Foul is called on Ryan.
I think Jesse Ryan has played a heck of a second half here. She's going hard against a player that has some size on her, but hasn't given an inch.
Poulin. Fulner goes up, and the ball gets straight between her and Jesse Ryan. In the 71st minute, what a huge goal that is for Patrice Fulner. Naperville North has actually had the better of the chances out of the corners, Ed, 5-3. Kelly Leasley, the junior forward who has got 2 goals in this tournament, is now on the field. Harris had a chuckle at her situation. She wasn't sure that she was going to come back for her junior year, and after she scored in the semifinal this morning, he asked her while the game was still going on, well, do you think you're going to come back this year? And she said, I don't know. There's Baker into the area, and Guiney can't get there before it's cleared. Megan Mull and Sarah Lynch advancing it, and here comes Fulner again. Patrice Fulner, she's got great wheels, and look at the recovery there by Mull. No, that was Walsh. Ryan was there, but Amy Walsh came in with the tackle from behind, and a chance for Guiney. And the ball is blocked, still alive, about 10 yards out and cleared by St. Charles. Akakakis blocked the initial cross from Guiney, and now down in a heap.
Well, that St. Charles goal and that last chance that they had there was created because Naperville North has to push forward. They have to send some more numbers into the attack and take some chances here. And Patrice Fulner, not only is she fast, but she's fast with the ball at her feet. And that's a different story. She's able to go to goal at a top speed with the ball on her foot.
Now Walsh.
That's a giveaway there.
Yeah, Strizala, yeah. And Sarah Lynch battling with Ryan.
Jesse Ryan is a battler. She has been tough. Himrod in to the Saints lineup.
Sandy Dable gave Fulner the option on her goal in the 68th minute. And the ball is awarded to Naperville North. Guiney went a little bit too far. Johnny Anderson is there. Sarah Lynch threatens. Jesse Ryan clears to midfield to Guiney, and she's pushed by Anderson. That's a foul. And now here comes a great defensive move, but down goes Shannon Grimley right at the 18. Naperville North fans wanted a foul called. Maroney says play on.
That was an awesome tackle by Julia Akakakis. She read the move inside well and got a piece of it. Watch her just stick in there. Yep, that's just a great play, and wasn't really all that much contact. I think Shannon just might have been gassed from the long run that she made.
Almost looks like she caught her back foot after the tackle. This is a record 8th appearance in the state tournament for St. Charles, as Himrod has a chance, and the cross, and just missing the chance is Becky Myers, who fell down. Missy Wicker cheated toward the near post. Myers snuck in more toward the backside, wasn't able to make the connection. She had an open side.
I don't know how much of a workhorse Shannon Grimley is. She was the one chasing down Lisa Himrod in the corner there just after she was taken down on the other end of the field.
Here's Guiney the volley, and Hilligoss the save.
Did well to even turn it on goal. Momentum taken away.
St. Charles has got a record in the state tournament, but they did allow a goal in the semifinal against New Trier. But in terms of goals for, they've got the mark.
If the Huskies don't get something quick here, they need lightning to strike a couple of times against a team that has given up only 1 goal in the tournament.
And has scored 15. And now the header and a goal. And Poulin right there. The set play, she knocks it, and it's 3-0.
Get that trophy ready for the Saints. Start the bus. Ann Poulin in a crowd. Told you how good in the air she is defensively. Let's watch her offensively in the air. High, just heads it down. I don't think Wickard even saw that one in the crowd, but as an attacker, you got to get that ball down, and that's exactly what she did.
Were there 12 inches between the post and Jesse Ryan?
Side netting.
Just a sophomore.
12 goals, 15 assists. She doesn't have to play sweeper this year.
Joe Morrow still trying to keep his players' head in it. Against 16 goals, that's a new state tournament record for St. Charles. We're just looking at Joe Morrow. He is about to record his 9th tournament win. Andy Bitta from Libertyville had 11 in a fine run.
It doesn't look like Joe's ready to enjoy himself yet.
I don't think that's in his makeup.
Some of his players there are certainly thinking that this one's in the book.
Storylines for 1998 in addition to St. Charles with 3 consecutive championships. How about Emily Brown? 50 goals on the season, 126 for her fine career at New Trier. Angeline Santana scored 100 goals at Amundsen High School in the public league. Colleen Joyce scored 53 goals for Johnsburg. And Katie Hertz, whom we saw here a couple of years ago in the finals for Sandburg High School, became the first girls player in Illinois history to record and in fact surpass 100 assists. She had 110. She's headed for Northwestern. Al Harris, his 2nd appearance in the final match. His record will go to 1-1. But the fact of the matter is that he has got such a young group.
Yeah, but
starting
St. Charles.
Yeah, oh, I know. There was another coach watching some of the semifinal action and watching St. Charles handle New Trier fairly easily, and he said it with a smile on his face, but he said, God, I hate Joe Moreau. and that's said out of respect, and if you're a coach, you sit and you wonder what it takes to get over the hump. Naperville North played a terrific game. Missy Wickard is out of the net now, and Teresa Del Vecchio will get the final moments for Naperville North in goal.
I think one of the things that the St. Charles coaching staff has done such a tremendous job of is really keeping this team focused on each and every game. Obviously, when you're as good as they are and they've got that streak going, every team, I mean, it makes their season if they beat St. Charles. And you're talking about high school kids here to remain focused. They've done an excellent job of that.
Becca Patrick Maybe a little frustrated. She's going to go into the book for that as she hauled down Akikatis. That'll be a yellow card. And again, I think that's just out of frustration.
Well, there's a whole team of St. Charles Saints checking in. Put in the offensive unit. Special teams, here we come.
Would this be the hands team for the onside kickoff?
The Huskies just got Missy Wickard back in the goal. New goalkeeper for St. Charles.
Yes, indeed. Lexi Stormo, who has made now 5 appearances, and she gets a little roof raiser from sophomore defender Angie Stallman. Akikatis off the restart. Dable. And look out. But here's Stormo's sister scores! Jenna Stormo puts the icing on the cake for St. Charles in the 79th minute.
The precisions of her moves to get that. Watch this. She is going full blast, full flight. Watch this cut to her left. See ya. And then the finish, perfect. That slow motion replay didn't do her justice at the rate of speed that she was flying at the Husky goal. What a finish.
Jenna Stormo with 10 goals now, so that's a half a dozen Fighting Saints in double-digit scoring.
There she is, and you just saw her racing onto that loose ball. She doesn't know any other way to play. There's only a minute and a half, but she's still going like this game is in doubt.
Push is called. So Naperville North at least gets to clear the ball, and Joe Moreau and Lindley Hilligoss, who is headed to Iowa State along with Kristen Winterich, sharing a moment at the end of yet another championship season. When the book is written on 1998, it will read that the Fighting Saints scored 137 goals and allowed but 4. And it's time for the Saints on the bench, most of Joe Moreau's regulars, to raise the roof as Lexi Stormo saves Naperville North's last gasp. The unbeaten streak is at 83. And St. Charles has got another trophy to put in the case as the Saints defeat Naperville North 4-0 to win the 1998 Illinois High School Association Girls Soccer Championship.
Bunch of happy girls there. They deserve it. And I'll tell you what, hats off to the Huskies of Naperville North, too. The final is going to read 4-0 here, but this is really a 1-2 goal game. They had to earn this trophy. The St. Charles Fighting Saints did. And a championship season finishes undefeated.
This game was still much in doubt until Patrice Fulner made that great run with 12 minutes and change left in the match.
And it was a case where the game was getting a little bit late, and Naperville North was starting to commit a few more players into the attack.
And Poulin with the header to make it 3-0 in the 76th minute. So the Saints scored 3 times in the final 12, and twice for Joe Moreau in the final 4 minutes of this match. So let's see. Now he's going to put some pressure on the Red Wings to match his accomplishment, except they're one Stanley Cup shy. He's got 3 trophies.
Right.
St. Charles finishes the season with 29 victories and 1 tie. Naperville North at 23-3-3. What a great run for both of these teams, and it ends in St. Charles' favor. Back with some final thoughts in the championship trophy presentation after these words on Fox Sports Chicago. They're raising the roof for St. Charles at Naperville Central High School. The Saints with a 4-0 victory over the Huskies of Naperville North. Brian Davis, Ed Vicinic back for the awards presentation. And one of the things that I was pleased to see is that Kristen Wintrich was able to stay around, one of Joe Moreau's graduating seniors, to enjoy the presentation, even though she went out fairly early in the match with that knee injury that originally cropped up for her in the semifinal victory over New Trier. And as Joe Moore, you know, the assistants don't get enough credit, I think, and probably we ought to mention Sue Soderberg and Joe Dowling and Jim Fredrickson and Angie Rafe, as well as now Marty Hickman and the IHSA gang start going down the line. But you made the point earlier, you know, you've got some seniors that they're going to miss, but on the other hand, they got some sophomores that they're real happy to have.
You know, the St. Charles area is really a factory.
That's Steph Lynch, who will be going to play collegiately at the University of Iowa. She actually, even though she was a captain, it was an interesting situation early in the season. She was trying to play too perfect, and Moreau benched her. You know, but that's the way they do it at St. Charles. And, you know, the message was delivered that you don't have to play mistake-free soccer because you can't. Right. And she came back and had a great year.
That's just part of the determination, I think, that really is displayed by St. Charles as a team.
Johnny Anderson did a great job marking.
Thankless job all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. But you're right, the team concept thing is, you know, paramount here.
You know, they've got tradition to live up to. You know, they're just not playing each year. They're playing against the teams that have gone before them. And a lot of the girls that had played at St. Charles come back. They watch this team. Brett Hall, who had done a lot of coaching for these girls early on, is now somebody that just works with them here and now. He always comes back to watch. It's Tim Daly, who started this program as a coach, is around today and is around today. I mean, they're playing to live up to Saints teams of past.
There's Ann Poulin, whose header was the 3rd goal of this match, and there's Kristen Wintrich, who again is going to go to Iowa State to play with Lindley Hilligoss. What do you think? 2 St. Charles players from the #2 nationally ranked team. That's a pretty good catch for Iowa State.
Say that's a good recruiting class.
If you stopped right there.
Exactly.
Would Coach Al Harris and the captains of Naperville North please step forward and accept the runner-up trophy for the state of Illinois?
There's a team that worked hard tonight. One of the things that Jay Conrad told me, the assistant coach said, you know, we just got to go aggressive everywhere on the field. Go hard to 50-50 balls. Put pressure on St. Charles as much as we can and leave it all out on the field. And I honestly believe that the Huskies did that tonight. Even in the last 2-3 minutes of this game, these girls were going hard into 50-50 balls.
All hands on the hardware, and it is most certainly a team effort as St. Charles, there's Steph Lynch and Patrice Fulner in the foreground, and what great roles they played, except the 1998 state championship trophy.
St. Charles, Patrice Fulner. From St. Charles, Lindley Hilligoss. From Naperville,
They're announcing the all-tournament team.
From Naperville North, Aileen Gunny.
Now see, this is a little bit different here. In swimming, they actually take the thing into the pool.
There's no pool to do that here.
But you know, you can take the thing and you can set it in front of the net, and you can make yourself a real nice background. As a matter of fact, they ought to go back to St. Charles and haul out all 6 now. We'll wrap it up in a moment from Naperville Central. St. Charles wins again. The sun sets on another championship season for the Fighting Saints of St. Charles. A 4-goal victory over a determined group of Huskies from Naperville North. Sisters Stephanie and Sarah Lynch celebrating with their championship medals at midfield. This one ought to go on for quite some time in St. Charles. 3 in a row, 6 all told. Let's segue, shall we, to the Pepsi play of the game.
You know, Becky Myers had a great goal to put him on the board, but this pass by Molly Ryan and the run by Patrice Fulner with the finish was just outstanding in my mind. They created beautifully with interplay there in the midfield. A touch away from the goalkeeper and then a solid finish. But Patrice Fulner really kind of put the nail that in the coffin that made it tough for the Huskies to come back. That coming really in about the 68th minute of play.
So with 12 minutes left in regulation, but until that time, Naperville North battled and battled and battled some more. Now, for my partner Ed Vicinic and our entire